Welcome all to LawSikho's thorough newspaper analysis for 28th and 22nd of January 2024. ठीक है, चलिए आज के एडिटोरियल, आज के एजेंडा की बात करते हैं, जहां पर we'll be discussing an editorial section from the Indian Express which talks about how the legal debate over sub-categorization among SCs has evolved over the years. Then we'll be discussing about some news update and the way we go forward, the legal news update of the day. Chale? Okay. So, a 7-judge constitution bench, which is headed by the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, will start to hear the case pertaining to sub-categorization of scheduled castes from the next week. So, it's an update that is coming up from the Honorable Supreme Court. What the states have argued that there are some castes that are grossly underrepresented despite reservation in comparison to so-called dominant scheduled caste. They want that the government should create a separate quota for some caste within the Supreme Court of 15% to ensure that the benefits are equitably distributed among all the castes. The top court will decide if states have the power to create this subclassification when providing reservation, or if such power is vested only with the president. So what has happened here, that the states are demanding a subcategorization of the caste within the scheduled caste category, and they want that they should be equally represented. For that particular thing, the Supreme Court will start the hearing from the coming next week, and it will be a 7-judges constitution bench. Now, let us understand the evolution period of this particular caste system and the reservation. So, in 1975, the Punjab government has issued the notification dividing 25% SC reservation at that time into 2 categories. So, what happened? They divided into 2 categories. In the first category, seats were reserved solely for the Balmiki and Mazhabi Sikh communities, which were and continue to be considered 2 of the most economically and educationally backward community in the state. Now, what happened as a result of this? They were given first preference for any reservation in education and public employment. And the second category consisted of the rest of the SC community, which did not get any preferential treatment. So it was one of the first instances of existing reservation being subcategorized. By that word, I mean there was a classification and then there was a subclassification by the state to provide benefit to certain community beyond what has already been offered to scheduled caste community as a whole. So I hope I'm clear in that. So that was the first instance in 1975, which was done by the Punjab government. While the notification remained in force for nearly 30 years, it ran into legal hurdles in 2004. A 5-judge constitution bench struck down a similar law introduced by Andhra Pradesh in 2000. So in even Chinnava versus State of Andhra Pradesh, the Supreme Court struck down the Andhra Pradesh Scheduled Caste Act 2000 for being violative of the right to equality. The law contained an expansive list of the scheduled caste community identified in the state and the quota of the reservation benefit provided to each of them. So that was struck down by the Supreme Court against the Andhra Pradesh government judgment. Now, the court held that the subclassification would violate the right to equality by treating communities within the category differently, and said that Supreme Court list must be treated as scheduled caste list must be treated as single and homogeneous group. So what court way back said that the subcategorization would violate the right to equality. The rationale was that since the constitution classifies certain castes in a schedule as they historically face discrimination due to practice of eligibility, they cannot be treated differently from one another. The court also drew the attention under Article 341 of the Constitution, which gives the President the power to create the list of scheduled community for the purpose of reservation. Now, 2 years after the apex court ruling, the Punjab and Haryana High Court in Dr. Kishan Pal versus State of Punjab struck down the 1975 initial notification. Okay. So in October 2006, 4 months after the Punjab and Haryana High Court struck down the notification, the Punjab government attempted to bring back the law by passing an act named Punjab Scheduled Caste and Backward Classes Act 2006. The act reintroduced the preference in reservation for the Balmiki and the Mazhabi Sikhs community way back when they bought in the 1975 notification. In 2010, the High Court once again struck down this provision. The Punjab government then moved the Supreme Court against the High Court ruling, arguing that the Supreme Court in 2004 had correctly concluded that scheduled caste quota cannot be subclassified. Now, again in 2014, the Supreme Court in Dalwinder Singh versus State of Punjab referred the appeal to a 5-judge constitution bench to determine if the 2004 judgment of the Supreme Court required reconsideration, since it needed an inquiry into the interplay of several constitutional provisions. Interpretation of the Constitution requires a bench of at least 5 judges of the Supreme Court. Now, what is the reconsidering of the E.V. Chennaiya ruling? In 2020, the Constitution Bench, which was headed by the then Justice Arun Mishra, held that the court, the ruling in 2004 required reconsideration. The ruling noted that the court and the state cannot be a silent spectator and shut its eyes to stark realities. The ruling disagreed with the premise that scheduled caste are homogeneous group and said there are unequals within the list of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and socially and educationally backward classes. Okay. Crucially, since the 2004 judgment of Andhra Pradesh Court, the concept of creamy layer has also been trickled down to Supreme Court reservation. In the landmark judgment of 2018, which was Janrail Singh versus Lakshmi Narayan Gupta, the Supreme Court held the concept of creamy layer within the scheduled caste too. The creamy layer concept put an income ceiling on those eligible for reservation. This was the first time this concept applied to OBC. It was applied to promotion of SCs for the first time in 2018. Since the Dalwinder Singh bench also was 5 judges bench, a larger 7 judges bench is now hearing the issue. Only a larger bench judgment can prevail over a decision of a smaller bench. Apart from Balmiki and Mazhabi Sikhs in Punjab and Maghida in Andhra Pradesh, Paswans in Bihar and Jatwas in UP and Arundhyaras in Tamil Nadu will also be impacted by the subclassification strategy. So what is there? So next week, a very interesting issue would be coming before the Honorable Supreme Court for subcategorizations of within the scheduled caste. I hope I'm clear with it. Okay. Chaliye. Now, let us move to the national news where we'll be talking about Andhra CM Jagan Reddy unveils 125 feet tall Ambedkar statue. So, if New York in the United States of America is renowned for its Statue of Liberty, the city of Vijayawada in Andhra Pradesh will be hereafter known as the place for the Statue of Social Justice, said Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Shri Y.S. Jagan Reddy as he unveiled a 25-foot tall statue of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar at the Swaraj Maidan in Vijayawada. Okay. The statue, which stands top at 81-foot pedestal at the Srimati Vandam, takes the total height of movement of 206 feet, the tallest Dr. Ambedkar structure ever built in the world. Okay. Now, when we're talking about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, let us understand some facts about B.R. Ambedkar. The birthplace is Mahu, which is in MP, Madhya Pradesh. Now, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Nagar. Education, he is a BA from Mumbai University. He is an MA, PhD, LLD from Columbia University, MSc, DSc from London School of Economics, and Gray in Barrister in Law. He has got many awards like Bodhisattva, Bharat Ratna, First Colombian ahead of their time, and the Greatest Indian. And he was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Indian Constitution. Now, to the next national news, Manipur, Meghalaya, Tripura Foundation Day. So, the foundation day of Manipur, Meghalaya, and Tripura was on January 28th with the introduction of Northeast Area Reorganization Act 1971. The three northeastern states, that is Manipur, Meghalaya, and Tripura, attained the statehood on January 21, 1972. And this is the map of Northeast India. Now, ISRO launches upgraded alert system for fishermen. So, Indian Space Research Organization has developed an indigenous technological solution for fishermen at sea to send emergency messages from fishing boats. Okay, the distress messages are sent through a communication satellite and received at a central control station where the alert signals are decoded for the boat identity and location. The extracted information is forwarded to the East Coast Indian Coast Guard Maritime Rescue Coordination Center. Now, ISRO Chairman Shri S. Somnath, the upgraded transmitter at the central control station is the ISRO Telemetry, Tracking and Command Network. So, ISRO has launched an upgraded alert system for fishermen. I hope you guys are okay with the explanation. India has more gold reserves than Saudi Arabia and UK. So the United States have emerged as the country with the largest gold reserve in the world as estimated by the World Gold Council. India is placed at the 9th spot and is ahead of Saudi Arabia and United Kingdom. Okay, Italy, France and Russia occupy the 3rd, 4th and 5th spot respectively. So India ki, when we see India's ranking in different index, so Global Innovation Index, India's rank is 40th. Climate Change Performance Index, the rank is 8th. Henley's Passport Index, 80. World Happiness Report, 126. Electoral Democracy Index, 108. And Global Terrorism Index, that is 13. So you have to remember all this index as well for your examination purposes. ICICI Bank Canada launches Money to India Canada mobile banking app. So ICICI Bank Canada, a wholly owned subsidiary of ICICI Bank Limited, has introduced its latest mobile banking app, that is Money to India Canada, providing Canadian customers with a seamless platform for 24/7 fund transfer. So what is the benefit of this particular app? It's user-friendly, high transaction limit, cross-border convenience, accessibility, and future-dated and recurring transfer. So it's an app which is launched by ICICI Bank, Money to India, Canada. Indian women hockey team fails to qualify for Paris Olympic 2024. So India hopes for a place in Paris Olympics are shattered after losing the 3rd, 4th classification match against Japan in the FIH Women's Qualifier in Ranchi. Japan scored the match only goal in the first quarter and then defended with a lot of confidence. The USA, Spain, Germany and Belgium all achieved their goal of securing their spots in Paris by winning their respective semi-final. Japan were the 5th team to make it to the Paris Olympics. So it's a very disheartening news coming where Indian women hockey team fails to qualify for Paris Olympics 2024. Education Minister issues new rules for coaching center. So there are new rules that are coming up in which study center cannot enroll students below 16 years of age, making misleading promises and guarantee rank or good marks. Citing cases of rising student suicide, exorbitant high fees at the study center and mental pressure, the Higher Education Department has brought out detailed guidelines to be followed by the coaching center across the country. The few guidelines are now, coaching classes shall not be conducted during their institution school hours. They cannot engage tutors having qualification less than graduation, and they cannot enroll students below 16 years of age, or students can be enrolled only after secondary school examination. Now, prospectus, notes and other materials shall be supplied by the coaching center to their enrolled student without any separate fees. So, new rules coming up for the coaching center. 19th NAM, that is Non-Aligned Movement Summit in Uganda's Kampala, that is the, EAM Jaishankar lead Indian delegation. So External Minister S. Jaishankar led the Indian delegation to the 19th Summit of the Non-Aligned Movement. Okay. Now, it stated that the voice of NAM would not only be heard here, but would also have a global impact. Now, when we are studying about the organization, let us understand the facts about that organization, that what organization is all about. So, NAM was founded in 1961 with a view to advancing interest of developing countries in the context of Cold War confrontation. Areas of involvement, developing countries, related people, Raul Castro, and there are 120 member states, 17 observer countries, and 10 observer organization. I hope you are getting the news. Chalen, let us move on to the next national news. Farsi to be one of the India's 9 classical languages. So, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar announced that the government of India has decided to include Farsi, that is Persian, as one of the 9 classical languages in India under the new education policy. Tamil was the first language in India to be accorded classical language status in 2004. Sanskrit, Kannada, Malayalam, and Odia are the other languages that have also been declared as classical in India by the central government. So there's a big news coming up where Farsi would also be considered as one of the classical languages of India. Cabinet approves creation of 3-officer level post for 16th Finance Commission. So Union Cabinet, which is chaired by the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, has granted approval for the establishment of 3-officer level post to support the 16th Finance Commission. The newly instituted position consists of 2 joint secretary level roles and 1 economic advisor. Okay. Now, the appointment has been aligned with the notification that was released on December 31st, 2023. The 16th Finance Commission is tasked with evaluating the financial situations of both central and state government. The commission will submit its report to the President by October 31st, 2025, covering a 5-year period starting from April 1, 2026. As now coming up to the constitution provision for this particular commission, it is Article 280 subclause 1, where the Finance Commission is constituted every 5 years. The advanced cell of the 16th Finance Commission was instituted on November 21, 2022 within the Finance Ministry to oversee preliminary activity until the formal establishment of the commission. Now, coming up to the international news, UNDP and Denmark partner to launch green rooms. UNDP, that is United Nations Development Programme in Ukraine, in partnership with the government of Denmark, has launched 2 new green rooms in Zaporizhia at the National Police Headquarters in Oblast. Now, the green room comprises of 2 spaces. One room facilitates communication with the child, while the other allows observation of the conservation. Green room enables the activity within a specially equipped space to facilitate effective interaction between the police officer and child survivors and witness of the crime. So it's a very revolutionary concept. UNDP is a United Nations agency tasked with helping countries eliminate poverty and achieve sustainable development. Okay, it was established in 1966 by the General Assembly of the United Nations. Achim Steiner became UNDP administrator on 19th June 2017. Okay, chale. Carlos Sainz' historic victory in Dakar Rally 2024. So Carlos Sainz, at the age of 61, has made history by winning the Dakar Rally for the 4th time. His latest victory in the 2024 rally marks him as the oldest winner of the grueling race. Okay, it marks Audi's first title in the Dakar Rally car category. He won the rally with 4 different manufacturers: Volkswagen in 2010, Peugeot in 2018, Mini in 2020, and now Audi with 2024. Japan Slim Mooncraft. So Japan's smart lander for investigating moon, that is SLIM, spacecraft successfully touched down on the lunar surface, making Japan the 5th nation to achieve a soft landing on the moon. The spacecraft is equipped with a variety of instruments, including a camera, a laser altimeter, and a magnetometer. So Japan has successfully landed on the moon, making it the 5th country, 5th nation to achieve a soft landing on the moon. Kuwait announces formation of new government. So Kuwait has announced a formation of new government, the first under the country new emir Sheikh Masil Al Ahmad Al Sabah. The freshly formed cabinet led by PM Sheikh Mohammed Sabah Al Salim Al Sabah consists of 13 members and includes new appointment for the Minister of Oil, Finance and Foreign Affairs. Okay, so Kuwait would be forming a new government. Yes. Chaliye. Now let us start with the legal update. Children from void marriage can't be denied share in their parents' property by the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court has held that the children who are born out of void or voidable marriage shall be considered as legitimate children and be treated as extended family of the common ancestor for the purpose of deciding a valid share in the property of the common ancestor. So the court has noted that once the common ancestor had admittedly considered the children born of void and void marriage as the legitimate children, then such children would be entitled to the same share as ancestors. And the name of cases Raja Gundar and others versus M. Sen Godan and others. Now, primary concern is recovery of money. Conviction of accused serves little purpose, which is coming from the Rajasthan High Court, and the court has reiterated that the punishment on the drawer of the dishonored check is secondary as far as Section 138 of the negotiable instrument is concerned. The court added that the primary concern would be the recovery of money since the conviction of an accused serves no significance. And the case name is Lakhani Builders Private Limited versus State of Rajasthan through PP and another. Now, mention details of previous bail application and order in all Blay P. So Supreme Court issues has, and a very significant legal development. Supreme Court has listed prerequisite to be mentioned in grant of bail application. The court also recorded that his suggestions are to streamline the proceedings and avoid anomalies. Apart from that, the Division Bench of Justice Rajesh Bindal and Vikram Nath issued the following direction that firstly, there should be details and copies of proper order passed in earlier bail application filed by the petitioner, which has already been decided. Secondly, the details of bail application filed by the petitioner, which is pending either in any court, below the court in question of High Court, and if none is pending, a clear statement to that effect has to be made. Thirdly, the registry of the court should also annex a report generated from the system about decided or pending bail application in the crime case in the question. And lastly, it should be the duty of the investigating officer or any officer assisting the counsel in court to apprise him of the order, if any, passed by the court with the reference to different bail application or other proceeding in the same crime case. So there are new guidelines, new direction coming from the Supreme Court in reference to bail application, and the case name is Kusha versus Duruka versus State of Odisha. And SC dismisses Bilkis Bano convicts plea to extend time to surrender before the court. The Supreme Court on Friday, that is January 19, dismissed the application filed by all 11 Bilkis Bano case convicting, seeking further time to surrender before jail authorities. The convict will have to surrender before the jail authority by January 21st. The original deadline set by the court as per its January 8 judgment, which is set aside their premature release. And the case name is Bilkis Yaqub Rasool versus Union of India, and it's a very revolutionary judgment. And if you want to revise your previous TNA, then do attempt the quiz link that is mentioned in the description of this particular video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.